Hi students, Assalamu alaikum. How are you all? I hope and my heart says that all of you are doing very good by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am also doing very good. Alhamdulillah. My dear students, at first I want to introduce myself. This is Mamunur, which is teacher of Malaysia School and College, Sector 7, Uttara, Dhaka. Dear students, this is my first class with you in this new year. So at first I want to wish you all Happy New Year. Dear students, you know Milestone School and College always trying its best to do better for the betterment of the students even during this pandemic situation. And all the students of Milestone School and College also doing and cooperating the teachers cordially. So at first I want to give all of you thank you very much for the last year, and let's start our new year. Dear students, in this year you have already done 2 classes of this subject, and this is our 3rd class, and we are doing chapter number 1, and our classwork number will be also 3. So without wasting any more time, let's start our today's class.
So, dear students, as I have told you before, today's classwork number is 03. So write in your copy the classwork number. And we are doing chapter number 1, that is Liberation Movement of Bangladesh. Dear student, first of all, I want to ask you some question from previous class. First question is, why did United Front form? Why did United Front form? Number 2, what was the symbol of United Front? And number 3 is, what is known as Sharif Commission? Dear students, I believe that you can give all the questions answer very easily, and I hope you have already written the question and given the answer as well. That's great. Further, I want to disclose the answer now. First question's answer is, to defeat Muslim League in election, major political parties formed United Front. Number 2 answer is, the symbol of United Front was boat. Right? I hope you have given the correct answers. And number 3 is, the education policy declared by the then Education Secretary S.M. Sharif in 1962 is known as Sharif Commission. Dear students, I hope all of you are successful to give the answer of these questions. So, my dear students, I'm going to start my today's class now. Let's see what is waiting for us in today's class. Before starting today's class, I want to ask you 2 questions. First question is, which event is called the Charter of the Freedom of Bangladesh? Can you say? Dear student, I hope you can give in the answer and you know the answer. Next question is, what is considered as a milestone of Bangladesh's independence? Dear students, actually both of the questions answer is same. So I hope you can guess what is the topic we are going to discuss today. Yes, it is none other than 6-point demand, which is known as the roadmap for Bangladesh's emancipation, right? So let's see what are the 6-point demands. Actually, this 6-point demand was the demand of the time, and Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman declared this demand on a meeting or conference in Lahore. So at first, let's see what is 6-point demand. On 5th February 1966, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman proposed a program with 6 points in a conference of the opposition parties held in Lahore. It is considered a milestone on the road of Bangladesh's independence. My dear students, you all know that after the independence of India, when British left India, Bangladesh and Pakistan, that means East and West Pakistan, are divided, separated from India. And East and West Pakistan consist a country, that is Pakistan. Dear students, though we were with West Pakistan, but West Pakistan ruler were not dealt as a partner, as a part of a country. They started exploitation, suppression, etc. Economically, culturally, in every side of the life, they exploit us. So my dear students, due to for this continuation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman declared and proposed them this 6-point demand. Actually, this 6-point demand was known as the Certificate or Charter of the Freedom of Bangladesh. So now I'm going to show you what are the 6 demands. Number 1, a new constitution has to be written according to the historic Lahore Declaration in 1940. The students, you know about the Lahore Declaration of 1940. So according to that declaration, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman proposed that a new constitution have to be written. Number 2 demand was the federal government will have defense and foreign affairs of the country. All the rest affairs will be dealt by the state government. My dear student, I want to say something about this point. First of all, federal government. Federal government means the central government, which is consist of East and West Pakistan. And East and West Pakistan will be separately state government. Dear students, here it is saying that the defense and foreign affairs will be dealt by the federal government and other all activities will be dealt by the state government. I hope you understood the second point. Number 3, 2 separate but freely convertible currencies for 2 wings have to be introduced. Actually, when 2 state government will be formed, then they must have to have a freely convertible currencies, right? So this was the third point. In 4, the demand was the power of taxation and revenue collection should be vested on state governments. Federal government would get a fixed share of the collected revenue. Dear students, it means West Pakistan or East Pakistan both will collect the taxes and revenue collection of their respective state, and some ratio or some share of that collection will be given to the central government or federal government. This is the meaning of 4th point. Number 5, there has to be 2 separate accounts for the foreign exchange earnings of the 2 countries, of the 2 wings. And number 6 is East Pakistan should have a separate paramilitary force. Dear students, this is the most important point among the 6 demands. That is, in East Pakistan as well have to have a separate paramilitary force for the defense of this part of the Pakistan. As you know, the East Pakistan is far away from West Pakistan, about 1200 miles. During the fight, during the war of Pakistan, the security was very much risky for the East Pakistan. So this 6 number demand is logical. My dear students, I hope all of you understood the 6 points of demand very easily. My dear students, this 6-point demand was very much effective and touchy for the people, common people of East Pakistan. And they react very highly, and not only the East Pakistani people, this is also very much touchy for the West Pakistani rulers as well. They become afraid for their ruling. So my dear student, now I want to see what were the reaction of 6-point demand for the East and West Pakistan both. Dear students, I hope all of you have taken the note of these 6 points. So let's go ahead. Reaction to 6-point demand. At first number, I want to say that General Ayub Khan got afraid to this 6-point demand. He realized that such autonomy for East Pakistan would end all exploitation. Actually, from the first of the Pakistan, from the independence of the Pakistan, West Pakistan rulers were exploiting East Pakistan. East Pakistan became the raw material provider and West Pakistan is the producer. West Pakistan become the factory owner and developer. So my dear students, General Ayub Khan afraid of it that if we accept all 6-point demands, the autonomy, East Pakistan will get the autonomy of their economy. So they become very afraid. I hope you understood. In number 2, I will say as the reaction of 6-point demand that the West Pakistani rulers were also worried about different independence of the wing and their students. Actually, the 6-point demand was the roadmap of the freedom of East Pakistan. And the West Pakistan rulers understood that one. So they become afraid very much. Number 3 reaction was this program would lessen the foreign exchange earning of Pakistan because the greatest source of foreign exchange of Pakistan was jute, which is from East Pakistan. Dear students, you know our country's soil, our country's land is very much fertile, and at that time the jute was world famous fiber. My dear students, most of the or lion's share of the country's income, foreign currency, would come from jute, which is produced in East Pakistan. And if its 6-point demand is accepted, then what will happen? All the foreign exchange will be added with the economy, with the revenue in East Pakistan. So my dear students, this program would lessen the foreign exchange earning of Pakistan. Number 4 reaction is this monopoly of West Pakistanis would end with the autonomy of the East, dear students. Actually, West Pakistani rulers were leading the monopoly. But if 6-point demand fulfilled, then the East Pakistan will get the autonomy of its own administration. Number 5. Many cases are filed against Bangabandhu in various districts of the province. Here province is indicating the East Pakistan. Okay. From the different countries of this East Pakistan, many cases against Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and other leaders of Awami League were filed in many cases. So my dear students, by doing this type of cases, they wanted to suppress the movement of 6-point demand. Number 6. The movement could not be silent because of the firm leadership of Bangabandhu and his widespread popularity. Dear students, you know, our Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was the immense leader and firm leader for the East Pakistani people. And he said the talk of heart of the East Pakistani people. So my dear students, his firm leading and widespread popularity ran the movement far out. Number 7 reaction is mass upsurge. Mass upsurge of 1969 took place due to 6-point demand. Dear students, you know, in 1969, common people of East Pakistan raised their hand and come to the street for the establishment, for the success of 6-point demand, and the government of West Pakistani are bound to give a general election in 1970. So my last point that about 100% people of East Pakistan cast vote to vote in 1970 in general election of 1970. Dear students, in this election, in total 162 seats were selected in East Pakistan and 161 seats were achieved by the Awami League. So, my dear student, about 100% people of East Pakistan cast their vote to vote, to the symbol of vote. And you know the vote is the symbol of Awami League, right? So, my dear student, these were the reaction of East Pakistani people and West Pakistani ruler due to 6-point demand. As you know, in East Pakistani people, there were no more way to do except 6-point. My dear students, let's see now. Today we have learned mainly two things. Number 1, 6-point demands, and number 2 is reactions of 6-point demand. Dear student, I hope all of you have understood these 2 points very clearly and you have taken the note in your copy. Dear students, this is all for today's class and I'm going to give you some related question of this class now. Dear students, I'm going to give you some question for your homework. At first, number 1 question is, why is 6-point program called the Charter of Freedom of Bangladesh? Dear students, I hope you have already understood the answer during the class. Number 2 is, describe the 6-point demand. And number 3 is, what were the reactions of 6-point demand? Explain. And finally, number 4 is 6-point demands indicated the autonomy of East Pakistan. Explain. Dear students, I hope all the 4 questions are very much clear to you all. So please learn all RQ of the question of the class very carefully, and these questions are very much important for your examination, Dear students,